The San Francisco 49ers are no longer undefeated. They fell to the hands of the Cleveland Browns. Who would have expected that? I made a poll before the season started, and I don't think anybody thought the Browns are gonna do good. Everyone thought the Bengals were gonna smash, like, freaking demolish them in the division at least. But no, no, they're not. They are not. But anyway, welcome in to the stream. We're gonna be going over this game. It was a nail biter down at the end. Kind of a wild game. But first, real quick, I gotta make sure it's all live, all going. Y'all know how it is. It might actually not be live while we're speaking. But no, I think we're good. Kind of like a little test at the beginning. Just to see if the audio's working. See if you could see the screen. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, a lot of people probably expected the 49ers to win this game, myself included, especially since the Browns had PJ Walker starting. And like, I like Phillip, don't get me wrong, but Pete, like, that's kind of crazy. PJ Walker came in, and the Browns came in, and with that 49ers defense, we're able to just like make plays, do good. PJ Walker actually looked better than Brock Purdy out there. It was pretty wild. Like, the announcers were even talking about how these two are like probably the best defense in the league, and a lot more people are leaning towards the 49ers having the better defense. But after today, you would have to argue that the Browns have a better defense because the 49ers really couldn't stop Phillip Walker. While on the other hand, the Browns are stopping a lot. They were keeping the 49ers to barely like any yards. That second half for the offense was bad, but I'll get into all that. So bad. I'm gonna probably start from the top though for both teams. I kind of get ahead of myself a little bit, but I'll probably loop it back a bit. My bad. Had to take a sip of water. Stay hydrated out there. Freaking A. So we're gonna let's see. So Browns, they they started off pretty good. Or not Browns, 49ers. They started off pretty good. The Browns, they didn't let a touchdown in the opening drive all season. So the 49ers, they were able to break that, and they got a touchdown in the first drive. That's 7 points right there, that crisp 7. And then that's all that offense really did for the rest of the game was that first drive, which which was really helped, by the way, by a face mask penalty. Zedarius I about called him Zedarius penalties, but there's so many penalties in this game. That's why I freaking even bring that up. But anyway, Zedarius penalty. Oh my gosh, I about called him it again. It's the bad thing about doing this live. You mess up the names and you can't, just cut it out. But so Zedarius Smith, he grabbed him by the face mask, and that he grabbed Christian McCaffrey on the face mask. Bad time. Gave him a free first down. Good gain. And actually, that first drive, Christian McCaffrey did all the work. It was like 5 plays, all to CMC that entire first drive. It was actually pretty nice. Boop, boop. Definitely helped by the penalty, of course. Let's see how much penalties they ended off with. Real quick, I might be getting ahead of myself, but I am so curious. There was so many penalties. I watched the Broncos and Raiders get 20 penalties in one game. These guys got 10, 20, 23, 25. They got 25 penalties in this game. Browns had 13 penalties for 119 yards, while 49ers had 12 for 105. That is wild. I thought 20 was insane. 25? They're just out there having a laugh. Ugh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's crazy. Also, 6 punts. 6 punts. Anemic offense in the second half. After that first drive. But alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, freaking on that first drive, Elijah Moore did have a nice catch. Oh, after that touchdown, the first drive for the Browns. Here, I guess I should be pulling up their stats. I do want to specify too, I'm not like the best at streaming. This is still kind of relatively new. So we'll get better. This is still year one. So all this is going to get better. It's all going to get updated and crazy. But yeah, I had that little note. But anyway, yeah, so the Browns, their offense wasn't as like good as you would think it was. They didn't score that much either. Like, but Philip Walker, he was doing his work. He threw a bad interception early on. It was just like Fred Warner, he read the eyes, he jumped in front of Amari Cooper and just he could have took it to the house, but PJ, he stopped him. I'll give credit to Philip right there. He made up for that pick a bit. But oh man, that was a nice interception by Fred right there. Where is that? That was an early on interception. It was good for PJ to get it all the way early. He did throw another bad one later to Lenore, which almost cost him the game, but yeah, that'll come later. Fred, oh man, that was a beautiful interception though by Fred. That was hype to see. I really like Fred Warner, one of my favorite 49ers players. Good to see him out there making plays. But after that interception, they really didn't do much. They had to settle for a field goal. That's when they got their field goal right here. That's their one and only field goal. Was after that pick. Oh, you know what? That's when they missed the 54-yard field goal because that was still in the first quarter. They missed a 54-yard field goal actually, so they should have had 3 more points on there. I forgot they both missed a field goal. Both teams missed a field goal this game. That first quarter was actually kind of nuts. It was like crazy stat. It was like there was 2 challenges, one by the 49ers that was really bad. I don't know why they challenged it. They like jumped up. The dude like he jumped up. I forgot exactly who it was. He jumped up, caught it, landed on the ground, and he tucked it in. The receiver tucked it in and then fell to the ground and it like fell out. And they were trying to like the 49ers challenged that saying it wasn't a catch. And it was like so obviously a catch. I don't know where like I don't know what they were thinking by challenging that. But maybe they saw something different. It was just kind of funny. But then the second challenge, I think I can't remember what that one was. I don't know if I wrote a note about that one. That's funny. But yeah, no, freaking 2 challenges in the first quarter, 2 missed field goals, 6 penalties, 7 points. That first quarter was wild. There was a lot going on. I can't believe I'm still tripping about 25 penalties. That's crazy. Only 5 sacks. I would have thought that there would have been more sacks on Philip Walker. Nick Bosa got a sack late in the game. It was on a 3rd down. It was a nice sack, but I really would have thought there would have been more sacks. I guess they have a nice line. But I guess besides the penalties. 49ers were getting bailed out by a lot of penalties. That was good. And CMC, dude, if Christian McCaffrey didn't get hurt and if he kept playing the way he was playing, he was getting a lot of the workload. I had it in the back of my mind that, man, they need to, like, get somebody else because he may get injured. They need to save him for the playoffs. And Debo. Both these guys left with injuries. Debo and CMC. So unfortunate. And, like, having George Kittle get 1 catch. How wild is that? He has 1 catch for 1 yard. He's really good at blocking. They are, like, a blocking team. But, oh, that was bad. I don't like to see George Kittle only getting 1 catch. And then, yeah, Christian McCaffrey getting hurt. Deebo Samuel getting hurt. But it kind of evens out because you got, on the other hand, you're playing Philip Walker and Kareem Hunt instead of Nick Chubb. Because, like, man, like, it's just wild. Anything could happen on a Sunday. The Browns defense is really good, and they kind of showed how to beat the 49ers. I feel like they laid out the blueprint. Make Brock Purdy uncomfortable and take away CMC and Debo. Because the 49ers really need CMC and Debo. But I don't know. Hopefully they'll be able to come back. It was like an oblique tear for CMC, and Debo was a shoulder. Hopefully they'll be back, especially for the playoffs. Good win for the Browns, though. This was a really good win for the Browns. As much as I don't want to see them win this game, I almost bet on the 49ers to win this game, but I didn't. It's a good thing I did it, because, yeah. The 49ers offense was just so bad. There was that one point where Brock Purdy was 1 for 5 for 1 yard. It was bad. And that was all in the second half. They were at negative 11 yards at one point. It was so bad. A lot of their yards came in the first half. Probably most of them on that first drive. But, oh, wait, hang on. Let me shout out Amari Cooper. I haven't mentioned Amari Cooper's name right here yet. He had over 100 yards. This guy had 2 incredible catches. He had one great catch in the first quarter, for a big gain. He was wide open. The guy covering him, Lenore, he kind of tripped and fell while covering him. Amari caught the pass and just booked it. He juked the guy, had a nice little freaking game there. It was nice. Good to see Amari doing good out there. It's still weird to see him as a Brown. Because, I always see him as a Raider and a Cowboy still. But see him as a Cleveland Brown, I'm like, it's cool, but it's kind of crazy. He also went off on only 4 catches. That's also really cool. But anyway, his second catch that he had, he jumped over Travarius Ward, freaking PJ made it through it a little high, but it was mainly to where only his guy could get it. But so PJ jumped, or my bad, I'm mixing up the names. So Amari jumped up and freaking he had Charvarius draped all over him. But Amari was able to jump up there, snatch it out of the air, and Hufunga was coming in, and Hufunga almost drilled him, but Amari was like, nah, and he just tucked that in, 2 feet in bounce like it was nothing, stayed standing. I think both the defenders fell, or at least it looked like they did, and he was just standing there all cool. It was such a nice catch. Great catch. Amari, those 2 catches set up the Browns for huge success. I think both resulted in points. It was great. And with how this game was going, any points was needed. Any. There was a play by the Browns that they did that was the dumbest play that I've ever seen. It was okay, so you know how everybody's doing the QB sneak plays now? Everyone, that's a big hype this season, the QB sneaks, which I don't care about. If it works, it works. Go ahead, do whatever. I'm not going to complain. But they were just, okay, so there was a 4th and 1 situation, and they were wanting to go for it, but they were thinking about it, and I thought they were at first, but then they went out there, and they were just motioning a guy to both sides. He went to the right, and then he motioned him to the left, and they were just going, and then they just took a delay of game, all while in punt formation. Why, okay, so they went to do a fake punt, and were just motioning a guy back and forth. They brought the, was it fullback or tight end under center, and they were trying to just draw him off sides or do something dumb, and they took the delay of game penalty on a 4th and 1 instead of just going for it. Even the announcers are telling them, why don't you just go for it on 4th and 1? But no, they didn't. I guess it didn't matter because they won the game, but it was just such a dumb play call. I thought that was all dumb. I guess if they would have not picked up the 4th and 1, it would have been more embarrassing. But it was just how it was, how the game was going. It would have made, I think, more sense because I feel like they probably would have picked up that first down. But they probably could have. Pick out your best play, your solid one, your go-to that is going to work. Use it right there. They probably could have got it. But it's okay. It's all right. They won. It don't matter. But they almost lost. PJ Walker, like I said, he threw that horrible interception to Lance Lenore. Or not Lance. I keep wanting to call this guy Lance Lenore. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I gotta look at his name now. I don't know why I call him Lance. It's Diomond or Man, I'm so bad at names. But he almost saved the game for the 49ers. He straight up got the pick and brought him down to the 8-yard line, setting up the 49ers to only have to do one play, passing off to the running back for an easy touchdown. So easy. So easy. Like, dude, Lenore would have been the MVP of the game if the 49ers won. That was an easy pick for him. It's weird to see Randy Gregory on the on the 49ers, cuz like I'm a Broncos fan. I don't know if anybody here doesn't know that or whatever. But so the Broncos traded the Randy Gregory to the 49ers for a 6th-round pick, and he kind of contributed. He was playing some snaps out there. He got a sack on 3rd and long, resulting in a punt, of course, for the Browns. So that's cool to see. I wish he would have did that on the Broncos, but I guess since the 49ers are contenders, maybe he's showing up more. This D line for the 49ers is also really loaded. Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, those guys, Javon Hargrave, and you just throw in Randy Gregory in there just for the heck of it. That's just insane. And he contributes a little bit like that. That's kind of what we expected him from Denver. But it's alright. It's okay. It's alright. I wish him luck. Just a bad signing by Denver. And Frank Clark also got released by Denver. But don't even get me started about that. That'll probably be later. This is this game. I'm going in a tangent. But no, this was a great defensive performance by both teams, actually. But Philip Walker, that dude impressed me. What are his overall stats? Okay, besides his bad interceptions, he did have a couple of bad interceptions. I like that he was playing better than Brock Purdy. Cause I was thinking man, Brock Purdy does not look good. He did not look good at all. He also it was raining in the first half a little bit, and he went to throw it back, and it slipped out of his hands. And he is so lucky that he jumped on that ball. That could have been so bad. But yeah, no. So it's cool to see Philip Walker playing out there. I thought they were gonna start. I forgot who they have behind Delarian. No. Hang on, I gotta get to the bottom of this. I can't remember the Browns' backup quarterback. I feel Dorian Thompson Robinson. Okay, so there's a guy named Delarian Turner Yell on the Broncos, and I keep wanting to say that Delarian Turner Yell is the backup for the backup QB for the Browns, but it's Dorian Thompson Robinson. I keep getting those guys confused. But no, I thought we were gonna see Dorian Thompson Robinson tonight, so I was kind of surprised to see Philip Walker. That was cool. Cool to see. I guess it's not tonight, it's today. There are still games going on and all that. So, nice. Alright, anyway, Kareem Hunt, he's back in the Browns uniform. We got him a touchdown. That was pretty good. Oh, you know who got robbed? David Njoku. This dude, he got robbed. They had a nice screenplay to David Njoku for a nice touchdown. It would have been like a highlight for sure. He was breaking people's ankles. He was making a play out there, and it got all called back, erased because of freaking holding penalty by the offense. He got a touchdown wiped off, and then later on, he also got another big play wiped off. David Njoku got 2 huge plays wiped off by stupid penalties by the offensive linemen. Who knows if they should have even been called? It was bad. Obviously, there was 25 of them. Maybe they can't all be bad calls. There was one for sure a bad call though. Actually, speaking of bad calls, even the announcers were saying late in the game, the 49ers, I think it was Lenore. Oh, I can't remember. Somebody freaking so he got hit for hitting a defenseless receiver. The ball was thrown, it was too high, and the receiver jumped and he kind of like braced for impact, and the DB hit him in the shoulder with his shoulder. Like how you see it, it was no head to head. It was no like crazy. It wasn't like such an insane hit. I guess they would describe it maybe like a bang bang type play, or maybe, hopefully, I think that's right. But it wasn't bad. Even the announcers are saying it was a clean hit. They even brought in Gene Steratore, and they all said, yeah, that's a clean hit. It probably should have been a flag. And that flag was a game changing one. Out of all the 25 flags, that flag was the most game changing one at that moment, I felt like. Because that was so bad. It resulted, I feel like, in another score for the Browns. And any points was needed. They were at 1 point away from each other. That was difficult to say. But this team reminded me of the Broncos, and freaking, like, just with all the penalties and dumb mistakes. Crazy. But obviously they're way better. Broncos would have probably got, beat, but it's alright. Jordan Atkins, that's the guy. Wait, no, that's not the guy. Who's the running back? I'm not familiar with all these names. Where? I forgot who the backup running back was that got a touchdown. My notes are not the best notes. So, like I'm saying, I'll end up getting a whole new setup eventually. But yeah, no, this was a fun game to watch. There was a lot, but those penalties weren't even making me like annoyed. They were just making me laugh. I was just like, man, that's crazy. And like they were, besides I guess that one clean one, but there were a lot of like maybe ticky tack ones. But I just like the announcers making fun of the refs because they're like, oh, they're getting their work in today. They're like, he's probably gonna end up losing his voice, and just making a bunch of funny jokes. It's so funny. But yeah, I really hope Christian McCaffrey's back out there eventually, especially for the playoffs. I hope Debo's back. I don't know who all really hurt for the Browns, but I hope they're all good. I like to see, oh, of course, Nick Chubb. I want to see him back out there. But David Bell, he got a good. They went for it on 4th and 6 or 4th and 3. I think the Browns went for it on 4th and 3 or 4. And they picked it up with David Bell. That was a nice. I was questioning why they were gonna go for it on 4th and 3 now, and not go for it earlier. But they picked it up and they proved me wrong. So I don't know what I'm talking about. They're the NFL team. They picked it up. Man, the 49ers, actually, another thing I want to talk about the 49ers, their last drive, oh man, they had a chance to win the game. Actually, you know what? Before that, their last 2 drives. I want to talk about their last 2 drives. Okay, so they get the ball they're up 17-16, right? They get the ball with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left in the 4th quarter. And they do their, stuff, trying to wheel and deal, go down, do nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They, I think they hit one nice play to Brandon Ayuk. That's when they only gained 11 yards. They were gaining, in the second half, this was all in the second half, obviously, 4th quarter. Brock Purdy had only gained 11 yards at this time. He was like, at 1.1 for 5 for 1 yard. He hit that nice pass to Brandon Ayuk, and then they did absolutely nothing and had to punt it. So, and when Brandon Ayuk caught it, he went out of bounds. And then they had an intentional grounding play. Okay, and like another play. I think it was like all that. There was just too much that happened. But all that happened, and they just burned 16 seconds off the clock. You would have thought they would have been able to burn like a minute or so off the clock. The 49ers are up by 1 point with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. Why would you not run the ball at least once or twice? The thing you're known for. running the ball. Why would you not do that? Like, wasting only 16 seconds in that situation is really dumb. I thought that was so dumb. You can't do that. I thought it was dumb. And then after that, their very last drive, I knew they weren't going to come back from that. Because it started off with Brock already. They had a minute and 40 left. After all that, they got it back with a minute and 40 left. And Brock almost immediately threw a pick. It was bad. Like, they went deep to Ayuk and it just went out of bounds, nowhere near him. And then on the next throw. But that whole second half offense by the 49ers was just so disappointing. I have Brock Purdy in fantasy, and it's bad. I don't even want to look at his score. It's probably horrible. But yeah, anyway, they got bailed out on their last drive by another penalty. The 49ers got so much, like, they got bailed out so many times. Like, look at these freaking, they got 119 free yards, and they still lost. That's how bad that offense was today. Ravens were able to win with 6 field goals, and the 49ers couldn't even get into field goal range. I guess the Cleveland Browns defense is really good. Probably number 1 in the league at this point. Oh, I guess at the end, you know what? They did get in the field goal range. They were set up to win with a 41-yard field goal, and Jake Moody missed it. Browns won 19-17 on a missed field goal. I forgot about that. But that's all just because they only wasted 16 seconds off the clock last time. They only had 11 yards in the second half at one point. They freaking could not. They went 3 and out like 3 or 4 times in a row. And it was just like punt after punt after punt for the 49ers. They did not show up for this game. And especially after the guys were getting hurt, Debo and CMC, it felt like they were done. And then I think Jake Moody, it sucks for Jake Moody. I wish he would have made that. But he was a little bit too far to the right. And yep, that's how they lost. On a missed field goal. It always sucks to lose on a missed field goal after all that. But to be fair, I kind of don't think the 49ers deserve to win that one. How their offense played. Like, that defense 100% deserved to win. They were trying their best. But that Cleveland Browns defense was insane. They were holding them crazy. And then Phillip Walker, I like to see. So, you know what? I'm not even mad that this Brown team's won. Not even mad. Even though I wanted the 49ers to win. Not even mad. It was like sloppy football, though. I really hope I don't have to watch games with 20 penalties. I really hate seeing 20 penalties a game. And this is like my second game that I've seen, I think, because Broncos Raiders was bad, and now this game. That's 2 really bad games with a lot of penalties. Man. The time of possession is kind of close. Browns did have it a little longer. The 49ers should be more, but they didn't want to win anyway. Because if they wanted to win, they would have burned way more time off the clock. Only 15 first downs. Total yards. The Browns beat them in everything. Just total yards, passing yards, rushing yards. Damn. You don't ever like to see injuries, but I mean, if you get injuries, you still have to have your other guys step up. It's just unfortunate. Amari Cooper, he was just making big plays. Jerome Ford, I like seeing him out there. 17 carries. He almost had 100 yards. Damn. Christian McCaffrey, I feel like he should have had way more than that. All those stats. You know, one person I do have to shout out, actually, that probably will not show up on the stat sheet for the Browns. Dalvin Tomlinson. Dalvin freaking Tomlinson was making it a nightmare for Brock Purdy. Even the announcers are talking about it. He was in the backfield play after play after play, being a huge disruptor. He only has 1 tackle, but no, he should have like 4 or like a sack or 2. He he was a reason why that offense couldn't get going. He was a big reason. Of course, all these guys were, but these stats will not tell you how much of an impact Dalvin Tomlinson made tonight. Cool to see him out there. But yeah, just both these players have a lot of good players I like, or both these teams. Sucks to see them get hurt, of course. I like to see Grant Delpit playing good out there. Jeremiah, oh dude, Jeremiah Wosu-Carmoa actually, he almost got an interception. So Brock Purdy should have threw a pick. Jeremiah, so Brock was trying to get it over the linebacker and get it to his guy, but Jeremiah was jumping up to get it, and it bounced off right off his fingertips. Just boom. It was unfortunate. And I was just like, I was really hoping that, like, oh no, actually, I was glad he didn't catch that. I was really hoping it was like a good play by the 49ers. I forgot what team I was talking about for a second. But man, it would have been cool, I guess. It would have been a cool catch. I'm not gonna lie. I like to see Juan Thornhill out there, even though he was a former Chief. He was probably one of the Chiefs I liked, so it's cool to see him on the Browns now. And Greg Newsome, I see why this defense is stacked. Like, look at all these guys. And then Rodney McLeod, can't even say that. Rodney McLeod, dude, former Eagle. I about said Falcon. Former Eagle. I really like this dude. Grant, Jeremiah, Juan, Greg. Dude, Myles Garrett, he wasn't even like the star of the show. Like, he got 2 offsides penalties, but he wasn't even really the star of the show. Obviously, he was probably getting double covered every play, but it was Dalvin. Dalvin was getting talked about a lot. And all these guys. Za'Darius, I feel like Za'Darius was making an impact too, but he didn't really get the stats to show it. This is a really cool defense. It's good to see. If you, like, on paper compare these two defense, you would think that they are kind of even. Well, because Javon Hargrave, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, you could say Nick Bosa and Garrett, why can't I think of his name? I just forgot his name. I'm like losing. Myles Garrett, there we go. That's why I'm forgetting it. Anyway, you could say Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett are kind of the same. And then you got Javon Hargrave here, which is pretty good. Is Javon Hargrave and there's too many names. Is Javon Hargrave and Dalvin Tomlinson kind of the same? They could be. I feel like they could be. And then just, I don't know, this is a really, like, same defense. Fred Warner. And then Hufanga and McLeod could be the same. Fred Warner and freaking, who do they have? Oh, actually, they don't have a Fred Warner on their defense. Yeah, I don't know. I'd give the edge on paper to the 49ers, but in person, the Browns definitely showed that they're the better team on defense tonight, at least. So yeah, on paper, it doesn't even show you everything. That's what's crazy. All these stats won't even show you everything. That's why I want to get kind of like a better background or better something. And like, I gotta change my setup or do everything. This is all kind of just seeing like what I could do, like the test, and you know how I beat early on. It'll like, I gotta just figure out what actually fully shows what happens like during the game. Because like these stats, like obviously stats are good to look at and you could get a kind of a view, but a lot of people that made big plays, like David Njoku, you won't see his on the stat sheet because they got wiped away by holding. And then just freaking the guy I've been talking about on the Browns. Why is there so many names that I can't think of? Hold on. What's his freaking Dalvin Tomlinson? I keep thinking, okay, so I don't even picture Dalvin Tomlinson on the Browns. I still picture him as a Viking. That's why I don't even think of his name, because I feel like this dude's just a Viking still. But it's all right. It's cool to see him making an impact. even though he doesn't show on the stat sheet. A lot of guys, I feel like, do that, make an impact, but it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So I'll definitely be looking into a background. If you haven't watched anything, I feel like these highlights are probably good too, right there. Yeah, all in all, this is a fun game to watch. I really thought that the 49ers are going to win. I thought a lot of people were going to win. But in the second half, or I thought a lot of people thought the 49ers were going to win. But after seeing the second half performance by the offense, I just knew. I was about to start betting on the Browns offense, but I didn't get it downloaded in time. So I just had to let it be. But that field goal, I guess it did come down to the field goal. I bet a lot of people who did bet were probably on the edge of their seat for that field goal, and then he missed it. So that probably caused a lot of relief and a lot of pain. That's the scary thing about betting, though. So bet wisely if you do. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that because I didn't. In my fantasy, Brock Purdy did not show up. I bet Philip Walker had a way better fantasy league or performance than Philip did. Or damn it, I bet Philip had a way better performance than Brock did. I haven't looked yet, but I don't even wanna at this point. I had Aaron Rodgers bad. I really thought Aaron Rodgers was gonna go off this season. Dang it. But it's alright. I'll settle for Brock Purdy, I guess. Just maybe this is a really good defense. I'll give him a pass. Maybe next week Brock Purdy will bounce back a bit, and maybe this whole offense will be ready. But look at this. So we had one field goal, one touchdown, two field. Look. Okay. First quarter, touchdown, first drive, and then nothing happened for the rest of that. And then second quarter, field goal, touchdown, nothing. Third quarter, two field goals. Where were the 49ers in the field? Or where were the 49ers in the third quarter? Going 3 and out. Over and over. Like, come on. There's a lot of times that the 49ers could have won this game. They had chance after chance to win this game. Like that one situation, having the ball for 16 seconds, they could have, like, maybe if they would have picked up a first down or did, like, waste something better. And just all that. If they would have actually picked up a few more plays, they first downs, my bad, but they called some bad plays. Kyle Shanahan called some bad plays. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but some of them I was scratching my head like, come on, man. Also, sorry if y'all heard something fall. I dropped my phone on my computer, like bounced off. But Jordan Mason, that's the guy I was thinking of for the touchdown. That's funny. It all came back. But no, like, this game was nuts. You'll have to watch the replay. If y'all have NFL Plus, watch the game. This was a crazy game. 17-19, you would be like, oh, that's weird. But it wasn't like a 17-19 Broncos game where it's crazy. Oh, you know what? I guess it is a defensive performance. If you like defensive football, this is a good game. Well, Philip Walker is fun to watch. Brock, he was not performing like you thought he would. So that draws another big question mark for Brock. Is he good or is he bad? That's a debate. We never know if he's good or bad yet. That's crazy. I think he's okay. He has to be better than Philip, right? Maybe not tonight, but Brock did throw a touchdown. Philip should have had a touchdown, but he did throw 2 picks. Both those picks are his fault. They're bad picks. But, you know, that was just pitiful performance by the 49ers in the second half. That's all I got to say about that. And good job, Browns. Good job getting a win over an undefeated team with a backup quarterback and a backup running back. And I think they didn't have Joel Bitonio either. So, good job, Browns. That is hype, actually. They get to celebrate a nice win. They get to get ready for the other guys to come back. I don't know if Nick Chubb will, but the other guys should. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do for the rest of the season. And I'm sure 49ers will bounce back. Let me look up their schedule real quick. Before we dip out, I gotta look up this schedule between the two. Okay, so after this game and seeing how they performed, they got the Vikings and the Bengals coming up next. Ooh, they're gonna have to hope Christian McCaffrey and Debo are back. Like, if Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel are not back, Vikings and Bengals games could both be losses. Freaking Jaguars and Buccaneers, all four of these games have chances to be losses at this point. We're seeing how this offense performed tonight. If they don't do something, or if they don't have those guys back, they could lose 4 games straight. That is crazy. Jaguars beat the Bills. Buccaneers are playing better than we thought. Bengals, 49ers could probably beat the Bengals, depending on which Bengals want to show up that game. I guess the same thing with the Vikings. You don't know which Vikings are going to get either. But this could be 4 losses. That's crazy. They probably won't go 4 straight losses. There's no way. But that's just crazy to think about. If I would have to guess, I think they're going to beat the Vikings. They'll bounce back against the Vikings. They'll beat because maybe Debo will come back or something. But then they'll beat the Buccaneers, I feel like. They'll probably beat the Seahawks once. Maybe the Cardinals and the Commanders and the Rams. They'll probably lose to the Ravens. If they stay healthy, they probably have a good chance against the Ravens. But I feel like they're still going to make it in the playoffs. This Rams team, or not Rams, this 49ers teams, I feel like is definitely playoff bound. That was a great start. 5-0 at one point is a great start. 5-1, that's still pretty good. They just got to stay healthy and start saving Christian McCaffrey for the playoffs. They are overloading that guy. Like, play after play after play, it was like, Christian. And it's like, no. Like, he's good. He has to contribute. He is. He's really good. But, man, I would like to just give him the load in the playoffs. Try to get your other guys involved. You don't want to get CMC hurt immediately, especially with this schedule. Crazy. But, all right. I still think they're going to be a playoff team, and probably both those guys will be ready for the playoffs. I really hope all these guys stay healthy. I hope everybody in the NFL stays healthy. You know how it'll be, but man, this is a brutal game. They sacrifice their bodies for our entertainment. Much respect to all the athletes out there. I may give them crap, but I don't mean it. It's just football. It's just football, woo. No, just start screaming. But yeah, no, let's I'm gonna go over the freaking Browns schedule. Let's see what they got ahead of them. Because 49ers definitely got a rough schedule ahead. Eagles, Vikings could be hard. Bengals could be hard. Division games are always hard. So those Seahawks games are always going to be hard. Ravens, that's difficult. Jaguars, I bet, are going to play hard. Bucks are going to play hard. Yeah, they definitely got a hard schedule coming up. So, but they'll probably make it in the playoffs. Let's see what the Browns are going to do. Will they be in the playoffs? I don't know. At first, at the beginning of the season, I thought, no way the Browns are going to be in the playoffs. But with this roster, with that defense, they just need a QB to be safe with the ball at this point. Because, they can't have turnovers. The defense will hold the offense as long as the offense doesn't turn the ball over. Then they'll be just fine. That's pretty much every game, you know what I mean? But the offense doesn't even have to score points at this time. They have to just kick field goals, maybe. That defense is just so good. They'll probably find ways to score touchdowns, which, yeah. Oh, they got a game against the Colts. With how the Colts have been playing, I think the Browns are going to beat the Colts. They probably definitely going to beat the Colts. And the Cardinals. The Seahawks could be a hard game depending on the Seahawks that show up. It's not like a divisional game for them as it is for the 49ers. Then Ravens. Oh, they play the Broncos. That might be a win for them. I don't want to see the Browns beat the Broncos. I feel like that might be a win for them for sure. The Steelers, that would be a rough game maybe. They seem to beat the Steelers nowadays though, so maybe they'll just beat them. The Texans are playing good, but that could be a win for them. Rams. Bears, they got the Bears. So the Browns schedule is not as difficult as the 49ers schedule is. That's for sure because the Browns got freaking Colts, Cardinals, Broncos, Rams, Texas, Steelers. Like that is way like easier. I don't want to say that because the Broncos here. I don't want to say easier. But with how the Broncos have been playing, I can't deny it. This is just an easier schedule. 49ers got Vikings, Bengals, Jags, Eagles, Seahawks, Ravens. Compared to freaking Colts, Browns getting Colts, Cardinals, Broncos, Bears, Rams. Come on. Yeah, no, that's Rams. I mean, it makes sense because Rams are a better team last year. It makes sense that they have a harder schedule. But looking forward, I could see the Browns getting into the playoffs as well. At this rate, beating the 49ers like they did, they could definitely be in the playoffs. That'd be kind of wild to see the Browns in the playoffs again. Like without Baker Mayfield. I hope Philip Walker is still the quarterback, but we all know. But all right. So that's crazy. I never really looked at the Browns schedule. So we might see them in the playoffs, and we might see the 49ers in the playoffs. That's a trip. Maybe we'll see this matchup again one day in the playoffs in the future. But if I had to bet if one of these teams were not to make the playoffs, I would bet the Browns. I'd bet the 49ers to make the playoffs and the Browns not to. Just because oh, you know what? Actually, the 49ers have a harder schedule and they're already losing guys. They need to stay healthy. The 49ers could get knocked out. But they have such a good start, I don't think they would. So yeah, you know what? Final vote. I'd vote that the Eagles or that the I'd vote that the Browns would get knocked out of the playoffs before the 49ers. That's my guess. Just because they don't have Nick Chubb. But yeah, so anyway, what a good game between these two. There's still a lot of other games going on. I'm going to actually see the scores real quick. That'll be the last thing I do before I dip out. We're going to go over some of these scores. See what's going on in the NFL Week 6. Okay, so right now at this time, Patriots and Raiders are playing. It's quarter number 3. Raiders are up 16-10. Patriots have the ball 3rd and 8. I feel like the Raiders were going to win that one. That was my guess. That would be my guess. I don't know. Patriots could come back, but Patriots are really bad. Lions and Bucks, I probably would guess the Lions. I'm going to have to watch some of this game so I can see how Baker Mayfield is playing. So I can see how the matchup between him and the 49ers is going to be. Because I haven't really watched the Bucks play this year. Rams and Cardinals, 6-9. That's actually probably a decent game. I thought that was going to be like more of a high scoring game because defenses weren't that good. But I guess neither offense is good. So that makes sense, 6-9. Eagles, Jets. I feel like that's a good game. Eagles undefeated. Eagles could stay the only undefeated team in the league this year if they beat the Jets. Jets have a good defense. Eagles have a good offense and defense. If Zach Wilson plays well, they could beat him. They could definitely beat him. They got 9 points. Did they get a safety or something? That's crazy. Or maybe like they missed a field goal or they missed an extra point and got a field goal. That probably is it. But yeah. And the Eagles had the ball. Maybe they'll go up 21-9. And then yeah, Bills, Giants play tomorrow. Chargers, Cowboys play tomorrow. Or actually, sorry, my bad. Bills, Giants play today at 6:20. That's still a couple hours away. And then Chargers, Cowboys play tomorrow. So yeah, that's pretty much what is going on. We'll go over, I guess. Broncos got beat by the Chiefs. I'll be talking about that in their own video. I'm going to make a Broncos video. I'm going to talk about this, but that'll be in another video. Ravens, they beat the Titans. I said earlier that they beat them with 6 field goals. They had 6 field goals in this game and 1 touchdown. It was wild. Uh, Dolphins. For a second, the Panthers were ahead of the Dolphins, so the Dolphins came back and kind of stomped them. That's good to see. But they allowed 21 points. That's pretty wild. I guess they didn't have Devin Achan anymore, so Achan. So it's still good to see the Dolphins win. I like the Dolphins, even though they stomped the Broncos. That's a whole nother story. That was sad. But I still like the Dolphins. Texans beating the Saints. I didn't expect that. I like Derek Carr. I like the Saints defense and all that. But the Texans won. I'm going to have to watch that highlight thing for sure. Commanders over Falcons. I could see that. But I kind of like what the Commanders have been playing really bad. I really like the Commanders defense, but they've just been bad. Their offense is bad. Their line was bad. But they beat the Falcons. I got to probably watch that. I feel like this week 6 has a lot of interesting matchups. With how the season has gone, these teams are interesting. I'm going to have to watch these highlights for sure. Colts and Jags. Jaguars beat the Colts. I kind of thought or think we all would have guessed that. Bengals 17 over the Seahawks. I'm going to have to watch that one too. I didn't realize the Bengals beat the Seahawks. I accidentally started Tyler Lockett over Amon-Ra St. Brown. I didn't know Amon-Ra St. Brown came off an injury, so I was starting Tyler Lockett. So unfortunate. But yeah, and then Bears lose to the Vikings. I feel like that's kind of expected. That was a close game, but I would have bet the Vikings to beat them. Bears are pretty bad. They lost to the Broncos. But oh yeah, another close game for sure though. The 49ers Browns. No, I don't think it would be the game of the week or anything, especially with how much penalties. I can't get over that. And the bad offense. But still a good game to watch. I'd watch the recap if I were you. I'd recommend it. I'm going to probably be watching a lot of other recaps. And maybe I'll be making more videos about week 6. But I'm going to be making videos about the entire NFL as a whole. You know how it is. So yeah, stay tuned for all that. If y'all enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. It just throws it out there. Only if you want to. I'll be uploading a lot more football content. It'll be videos, shorts, streams, every now and then. I'm trying to upload more consistently, but you know how it be life. But yeah, thank y'all for clicking on the video, the stream, and yeah, just for real, stay tuned for all the other football content I post. And get out there and enjoy some football. There's a lot of games going on right now as we speak. I just went over them. So yeah, hell yeah. I'll be making more content, all that. It's currently 4:19. I gotta wait one more minute. I can't end on 4:19. You gotta end on 4:20, the funny number. Let's look at what's trending real quick. What's trending? Myles Garrett exchanged jerseys with Trent Williams. That's good. Trent Williams was getting called for holding and some bad penalties. So that's good. Pain. Oh, he is in considerable pain. Oh, Debo might be out next week for sure. Miles knows who the defense is. They know who they are. They made a statement. So he had the lowest passer rating. Purdy had the lowest passer rating by far in any full game in his career. That was his worst game. He hasn't been in much games, but that was definitely Brock Purdy's worst game by far. Brock Purdy says the plays we had drawn up early, they're there. There's something that I have to look myself in the mirror and make the better throws. You're damn right, Purdy. Purdy was overthrowing Brandon Ayuk a little bit. So, damn right, Purdy. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror. Nah, I'm just giving him crap. But yeah, so Patriots were the 7th team in Super Bowl era to allow 79 consecutive points. Oh, damn. Damn, Patriots, they are bad. Their reign of terror of the NFL is over. The refs don't love them anymore. They moved on to the Chiefs. They don't have Tom Brady anymore. He moved on to the Bucks and the Raiders. They don't have anybody on their side. They got Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. Poor Patriots, man. They're gonna have to restart. Same as the Broncos, they'll probably have to restart. The Broncos have allowed 1,002 yards this season, the third fewest by any team in the first 5 games since 1970. Dude, okay, that settles it. Browns defense is the #1 defense in the NFL right now at this time. Week 6, I'm calling it right now. The Browns defense are the #1 defense in the NFL. Hell yeah, that's kind of crazy. I would not have expected that. I mean, Myles Garrett really good, but everybody else stepping up, crazy. I guess it makes sense why they won, and it makes sense why the 49ers offense looks so bad. And plus, the 49ers offense didn't have Debo or Christian, so that also makes sense. So, this game just makes sense. It all just makes sense. But hell yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm going to go off there, or I'm going to call it there, because otherwise I'd just be rambling about how much this game made sense. So, but yeah, so hell yeah, thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. Go check out all the other games. Y'all know how I'll be, because that's what I'm going to be doing. And stay tuned for all the other content, videos, shorts, streams. I already did the whole spiel. Y'all already know. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Freaking have a good day and night. Peace out. And the Broncos are going to beat the Chiefs this second game. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to make a video about that for sure. I really hope they win. Oh, man, I really hope they win. But, all right, yeah. Hell yeah, go 49ers, go Broncos, go Browns.